Wow, my head is shiny today. What else? So, look like a disco ball. Hi, and welcome to the Knitting in the City podcast. My name is Susan and I'm coming to you from the Netherlands in Rotterdam. This is mainly knitting and yarny goodness podcast, and I'm so happy of you to join. I know there are a lot of podcasts out there. Mine isn't that regular. I often only post once every few weeks, especially now that we have a move coming up and also a wedding. Anyhow, welcome if you're a new viewer, and welcome back if you are a returning viewer. I have quite some things to talk about with you guys, and also some finished objects. So grab a cup of tea or coffee. I have a very exciting glass of water here with me, and get some knitting or crochet out, and let's get started. I have a finished object, and it is, maybe you've already seen it on Instagram, it is a sweater. And it's the Pink Memories sweater by Isabel Kramer. And I did make some adjustments because there is supposed to be a pocket on the side, right here. But this time, I don't like a pocket with a sweater because often I will wear a sweater with a skirt and will put it in the skirt, and if there's a bulky pocket it wouldn't fit nicely. But overall I'm very happy with this sweater. It is all rinsed and blocked, and it scared me because when I rinsed it, it stretched out quite a bit, especially the garter stitch that stretched out quite a bit, and it was as big as a dress, like a tunic, and I was not happy at all with it. But when it dried, I didn't pin it down. It shrunk again, and now it fits me perfectly because it was a teeny tiny bit on the small side, but after washing and rinsing it turned out fine. So let me put this on for you. So here we are. Sorry for the lighting, it's getting a bit dark and I'm recording at night. Normally I record in the morning, but I know I don't have time this weekend, and also not tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, so we'll have to do with this for now. But this is my sweater, and the back is just Kitchener stitch and the front is garter stitch, and it's worked from the top down in the round, and I love the way the sleeves fit. They have some ribbing here. I chose to do quite a bit of ribbing because I like a bit of a long sleeve. And yeah, it's actually quite cold here in the Netherlands. It's about 18 degrees Celsius, and it's supposed to be summer. But it's fine, now I can wear my sweater, and it's super soft, super cozy. It's the Badenwolle yarn, and it's her Baden Fluff, which is a 100% merino, and it's a super wash, and it's super soft and fluffy in the color Tolstoy. And yeah, I like this pattern, but I don't know. I think if you knit the Flex pattern by Tin Can Knits and you also have the Flex Light, I think you might just get a similar result, and that's a free pattern. The Pink Memories sweater is a paid for pattern, and I'm not entirely sure if the price is worth it. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed working the pattern, and it's well written, the instructions are very clear, and it's my first top-down sweater, if you don't count a featherweight cardigan, which is sort of the same construction in a way, but then it's a cardigan and not a sweater. But yeah, so if you want to try a sweater like this, try the Tin Can Knits Flex Light. I do like that you work a few rows on the back and then the front, so this part is lower and this is a bit higher. Anyway, I'm very pleased with how this turned out, and I think I won't be able to wear it a lot since even though it's not that hot here, 100% wool sweater is still pretty warm. I used 2.5 skeins of yarn and I still have this bunch left. I used all 3 skeins because I alternated skeins every 2 or 3 rows. I didn't at all at the sleeves, and I think you cannot see, it doesn't pull at all. Actually, there is some pulling on the bottom, like here. And this is actually a part where I did alternate skeins. So that's when I realized it doesn't make sense and I stopped. So I still have 50 grams left, and this will make for a very fine hat, I think, to go with it. And again, I cannot love this yarn more, although I am a bit afraid that this sweater will pill a lot since it's so soft and fluffy. You can already see bit of a halo, and because it's so soft, I think it will result in pilling more easily, but that's fine. I will be very careful with it, and it will be my special sweater. I will enter, or actually I already entered this sweater in Mina's sweater knit-along. She's hosting a knit-along all year long. And I entered her, so check out if you are making a sweater, you can enter it there. And Bademolle is also hosting a casual knit-along just for fun and for some inspiration. So check out the Ravelry group of both and check it out. So I actually have another finished object, and it is a pair of socks. Now, before we go into this finished object, I have a bit of an announcement. I already posted this in the Ravelry group and on Instagram, and it's about the speckled sock knit-along. The deadline was supposed to be, I believe, the 3rd of June, but I decided to postpone the deadline. This has a few reasons, because one, I am enjoying this knit-along very much. There are a lot of pretty socks in the group right now, and also there are some other sock knit-alongs that will, I think the Fancy Feet knit-along just ended and I failed at joining because I started Cookie A sock and I haven't done any knitting on it, and yeah, I don't know, I haven't been feeling into intricate knitting right now, and the pattern is very intricate, so I will finish it, but not anytime soon. But I think that is finished, and the the cookie jar knit along hosted by Laura of the Fun Knits and Candice of the Pine Feathers and Pearls podcast is still running, I believe, until the end of June. And a lot of people are double dipping, and you should. So I thought, why not just let us host this knit along until the beginning of summer, which is the 21st of June. So if you have a speckled sock on the go, which you cast on after the 25th of April, you can join the knit along. And it only there are a few requirements. But the main thing is that you knit your socks with the speckled yarn. Let me put this one on the sock blocker for you, because it is my finished pinstriped sock, and it is yarn by Hedgehog Fibers in the color Boombox. This is the other side, and I did a twisted rib. Actually, I did it for the first time, and I did one sock with a with the knit stitches and the purl stitches through the back side, and it's not very bouncy. It doesn't bounce back. This one I did with a normal purl and a knit through the back loop. See the difference? And they're both with 56 stitches cast on. So yeah, I prefer this method, and I think this is the way you should be doing it. So knit through the back loop and purl the normal way. But again, I'm no expert in this, but it's way more soft and squishy. And I did a slip stitch heel flap and a decreased gusset, and these are just slip stitches which form the stripes. And this pair will, of course I won't enter the knit along FO thread because there are some prizes, and I of course will not get the prizes myself, even though I would love to. But these will go in my box of socks, and I now have 2 pairs. Yay! And I really enjoyed working with this yarn, and I really love Hedgehog Fibers. It's so vibrant and so speckly, and you can see, I think for a lot of colors of Hedgehog Fibers, you can see within an instant that it's Hedgehog Fibers, and it really has a signature look. And I really like that about Hedgehog Fibers. It makes your projects so pretty, and yeah, I love it. Although I see I knit one sock a teeny tiny bit smaller, but I have a bigger foot and a smaller foot anyways. Only a teeny tiny bit. So, done! Let me check on my show notes. Yeah. I got today actually a lovely prize in the mail, and I'm also happy because I have a bit of a tough week because we are moving in end of July, and we have a wedding at the end of September. There are quite some things we need to do, and also at work things are pretty busy, and then it was raining all day. I don't know, I was feeling a bit And then I got this package in the mail. And it's for the speckled socks, Knitalong, and it's from a lovely friend, and she is Sarah. She put these lovely cards, and I think it's so cute, with a little frog, and there's a note here, which I won't read to you, but she donated this lovely prize. She donates 2 skeins of this lovely yarn, and it is so soft gray sock yarn, and it's from Sock Yeah from Coop Knits, and it's a fine superwash merino, 75% and 25% nylon. It feels more soft than a 75-25% blend, to be honest. And it has a bit of a shine to it as well. It's so pretty. And they're only small skeins, so they're 50 grams, I believe. Yes. But she donates 2 skeins, so you can make a pair of socks, or even better, make a lovely hat or mittens. And she, next to these lovely skeins, donates a pattern, because she is a designer and you can find her. She got a coupon code, and I will cover it up because the coupon code, of course, will be for the winner. So this is her card. So check her out on Instagram and on Ravelry, because she has some lovely patterns. This is the front of her card. This is a pattern by her. So Sarah Brunenberg. And yeah, she has a website, and I don't know, I've seen some of her designs, and she was so kind to donate me a pattern as well. But I know she will be coming out with a new pattern, and she's working on that right now. So if you wait a bit, maybe you can pick a new pattern, and maybe you can even combine it with the yarn. So if you have a speckled sock in the finished object thread, maybe you will be the winner of this. And of course, there's also the lovely yarn from my friend Sandra from Crafulness, and I will post a picture of it because I haven't done that. I'm so sorry. So thank you, Sarah, or Sarah, I think it is, for this lovely prize. It's wonderful, and I can't wait to send this to someone and make someone very happy with it. She also gifted me some lovely minis for my blankets. And there are some yarns in here that I've been dying to try. There is some wool mice, and my local yarn shop now has wool mice. So I'm very curious to see how I like it, and if I love it, I can now buy full skeins at my local yarn shop. This I don't know, but it's Filcolana Arvetta Classic. I don't know what this is, but it's beautiful. It's so soft, and it's a pretty teal blue color. Then there's some Rowan tweed, which is always a treat. There's some Malabrigo sock yarn, which is so pretty. Look at this color. It's amazing. And there is some OMD BLF sock. OMD. I don't know, but whatever this is, I'm gonna look it up because it's a little place of diseases. I don't know, I love this. Look at the speckly goodness. beautiful. Then there is some handgefarbt sokwolle. So I'm wondering, did you dye this yourself or did someone else do? Because it's beautiful. It's a dark, like purple berry color. And the last one is also very nice because it's from Piratenwolle. And I've heard about this yarn on another podcast. Which is it now? The Happy Knitting podcast, I believe. Anyhow, it is amazing and it looks like candy. Love to try this. So thank you very much. You didn't have to send all those minis, but it's very much appreciated and I can't wait to put them in my blanket. More sock talk. I also have been working on a secret project, which is living in this bag, which I made. But I can't show you because it's a secret project. It's a test knit for a camper from Junk Yarn. She has been a very busy bee. She dyes yarn now for some time. Maybe you've seen it. She writes up all these patterns. I think lately she released a shawl pattern with the DK weight, which looked lovely, and this is a sock pattern. I can't tell you much about it, but it's not a vanilla sock, so it takes a bit of attention there. It's a toe up pattern and I've never done that before, but I found it very easy. Since I did do some hexie puffs for my beekeeper's blanket in that way and no trouble at all. There were some minor errors in the pattern, but overall it's a very nice pattern to work on, but it will take me some attention and I'm almost done with the first sock. I just need to put the heel in, and which is an afterthought heel. I think I can't tell you that much, but it will be released anytime soon, I think, or I hope, so I can show you my finished half object, because it's just one sock. But it's very nice, and that is all I'm gonna say to you about it. Let me take a sip. Oh my god, people, we're losing the lights! The sun is going away! Okay, have to hurry. I have another, not finished object, but a half finished object. And yeah, this happened. What? So I cast it on like 2 weeks ago, maybe 1 week ago, and I am over the moon with this. It is made from this gorgeous sock blanket that I bought a while ago, and it's from Stranded Dye Works. And it's a colorway Ocean Rainbow. This is the logo. And it's a plateau sock blank. And this is what is left. And I love these colors. It's just...
Drop it like it's hard. Drop it like it's hard. When the pigs try to get at you, park it like it's hard. Park it like it's hard. Park it like it's hard.
I love it. And it's so soft, and for like it's a 75-25 blend. But it's very soft, and it's a single strand, because with sock blanks you get them in single stranded, so you have one strand and you will knit one sock at a time. You also have double-stranded sock blanks, and then you will have to work 2 socks at a time, which I never do. So I prefer this way, and it will result into different socks, but I don't mind not having a matchy pair of socks as long as they are sort of similar. So this one is washed and blocked. I did do an Eye of Partridge heel, and that is not a very smart thing to do with a sock blank, because you can't really see, because your yarn is all spaghetti-like, which stitches you slipped and which you didn't, and it looks like this. It's not the way it's supposed to look like. And I did slip a lot of stitches, but I think because of the way the yarn is all wrinkled and scrunched up, the floats in the back will not react the same way they will in a normal sock yarn. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyhow, the rest looks gorgeous, and I did a wedge toe, and I already cast on the second sock, and I'm already past the heel. So you see it's very scrunched up. It's not too bad though. They look sort of similar. Not too bad, actually. And you see this one is quite a bit smaller because it's all scrunched up and it needs to be blocked, and then it will be gorgeous. So I did the heel turn, and I'm now at the gusset decreases, and I just love working on this. It's so addictive to see how the colors work, and you never know what you will get until the end, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I will be working with sock blanks more. I saw Andy from Andrew Sue Knits, and probably you've all seen it. She has been dyeing like a mad woman, and sorry, my memory is full again, so I have to change cards. Andy from Andre Sue Knits has been dyeing these beautiful blankets, and she makes designs with penguins and sheep and all kinds of animals and pretty things. So if you are in the market for a sock blanket, check out her Etsy shop. They will be sold out, but she will do an update soon. And I don't live in the States, and it's pretty expensive to buy from her, but maybe I will someday. Let me turn on the light here. That didn't help. Talking about sock knitting and sock blankets, I joined the Dye-along hosted by Laura from the Dyer's Notebook, I believe. And she's doing a Dye-along, and there's a theme. So the theme is fantasy. And fantasy can be like a fairy tale, or maybe a fantasy game, or a story from a book. And you dye yarn, it must be 100 grams or more, in the colors of your fairy tale or fantasy thing. And you have to knit a project, and the finished object has to consist of 70% of your dyed yarn. So for 100 gram skein of yarn, you should make a pair of socks that consists of like at least 70 grams of yarn. And I decided to dye a sock blanket instead of a normal skein of yarn. And I based mine on Daenerys from Game of Thrones, the show hosted by HBO. Probably you all know it. And this is the result. And it's a sparkly base. I'm not sure if you can see. But I am over the moon with this. I mean, I can wear this like this anytime. It has gray and blue and brown, some whites, and it's so pretty. There are a few things with dyeing a sock blanket. First, it might be wise to put a little string of yarn in the sides, because now it looks all scrunched up. Because you're moving it and you're dyeing it and you're washing and rinsing it. So I think it would be wise to put something on the ends and on both ends, because it looks a bit like a hot mess. It's not the same with this lovely blanket from the Stranded Dye Works, because it was all neat when I got it. Also, this side is very, more calmly colored, and then the craziness happened. So when I started this side, my socks will not be very equal, which I don't mind, and probably I won't even get to this side because my socks won't be that long, and I can use this for a small, I don't know, minis. How do you make minis from a sock blanket? Probably I'll have to make mini skeins and soak them. I don't know. We'll see when I am done with this. So I've been looking up patterns because I really wanted to have a patterns sock, like with scales for like dragon skin socks or something like that. But then I realized after working my heel on this sock that a patterned sock is not going to work with the sock blanket. So I will just do a vanilla sock. Maybe I'll try to do something like this again with the pinstripe. Maybe that will work, but probably for a sock blanket it's more wise just to make a vanilla sock. We'll see. So if you are trying some dye experience yourself, go check out the Ravelry group and you can join the Knitalong. And yeah, quite some fun things in that thread as well. I think that is everything I got for sock knitting. I think it's about time for some stash enhancements, because I maybe bought some things. I saw the podcast of Caroline from Zazu Knits or Woolbox. And she has a podcast. Go check it out. She's also from the Netherlands. She lives in Utrecht. And she will be having a baby boy. And it's so fun to see her knit all these lovely baby stuff. And it's so cute. I think I should knit some too for the dog. no babies here, but still I love to see all the baby things she's making and decorating the nursery. And she's also just a very lovely person to hang out with. I've met her once and I hope to meet her again someday, but for now things will be a bit crazy with babies for her, or one baby, and she just moved and we will be moving as well and getting married, and we'll see. But it's so nice to see a Dutch podcaster, and she dyes her own yarn and she makes the most pretty yarn, and it's not speckly, it's not crazy colored. She makes very subtle, soft colors, and she had some new shades and I just needed those in my life. So I bought two. They're very affordable as well. Of course, she's sending from Holland, so that's not super cheap, but hey. So I got this one, and this will be perfect for everything. Hats, socks, mittens, you name it. Even like a little baby cardigan would be very nice. A friend of mine also has a baby boy, and this is in the color Seashell. It's a 75-25 blend. And yeah, it has like browns and blues, and it looks a bit, you can't really see it that well in this light, but I will put a picture on my Instagram soon. And I just love it. It's so subtle, like all these hints of color. And then there's another one, and it's called Roberto Gelato. And it's this peachy pink, and it's just amazing. The colors are so much more pretty here in real life than what you are seeing. Maybe this will be better. It's a bit more peachy than, yeah, that's better, I guess. But I thought of making, I love pinks, by the way. I have so many pinks. A more textured sock. So I bought the ebook from Cookie A, and I know I still have a Cookie A pattern on the needles, but I will have to cast on another pair of textured socks because I really love to have a pair of cabled socks, and I think this would make a pair of beautiful cabled socks. And it's just nice to have something different than all the like crazy yarn. And this is just perfect. So very pretty. Thank you very much for the minis. She also sent me two lovely minis. I don't know where they are right now. I put them in my blanket stash. But yeah, I can't wait to cake these, although they will have to wait a bit before I can cast these on. Then I also received an order I did a while ago, and actually I ordered these in the beginning of May, I believe. And they are two skeins of London house yarns. And they are, what can I say? If you haven't heard of them, they are based in the UK, or she is based in the UK, and she makes, among other things, amazing stripy yarn. And I've got two skeins, or actually three, but two are two half skeins. And one is this Harry Potter yarn that I've been seeing, and it's the 4 Founders. And this is a stripy yarn. So you can see the colors from the 4 houses from Harry Potter. And it is super soft, super lovely. I cannot wait to knit with this. It is just... And I have seen this lovely pattern on Ravelry and the lovely Disa from Disa's Craft. I stink at names of podcasts today. Disa's Craft work. I'll put it on the bottom here, or probably here. She has a podcast, not so often because she can't record all the time. But she's such a lovely person, and I saw this pattern and she gifted me the pattern, and it's so nice. So I know exactly what to use for this yarn, and soon I will cast this on. So, but of course I couldn't just order one skein. No, I ordered another one, and this is Weather the Weather, and it's the sky with rainbow. I'm not crazy about rainbows, but this is amazing. She even put some stitch markers in here, or progress keepers. And like, come on, people. I just want to keep them like this and just stare at them. And they will make such cute little cakes. Yeah. Love it. Love, 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 love. So, I need to knit a lot of socks. Which I will. Yeah, so then I will talk a bit about some other things. That was all the knitting I have been doing lately. But I saw I'm not sure if it's the latest episode or the episode before, from Vanessa of the Kill to Crafts podcast, another lovely podcast. She is a very nice person, has very great taste in yarn and patterns. I think she might have similar tastes to me for yarn types and brands, and I actually think I spotted the London House Yarns on her podcast or Instagram, so totally enabled me to buy that lovely yarn. And she was talking about emergency knitwear. So she went with her car and she got locked up on a parking lot of, I don't know, I cannot explain. Go check the episode and you will understand. And she was locked up and she had to wait for a few hours until they were freed. And she didn't have her knitting project with you. So you should always, or maybe she did have something in her car. I don't know. The story was supposed to tell you that you need some emergency knitting. And actually, during the time she was locked up, I went to a park with a friend of mine. It's a park in The Hague, here in the Netherlands, and it's called, and it has all these lovely flowers, and there's like a Japanese garden, and all the rhododendrons were blooming. And I have some footage of it. I will put it in here so you can see for yourself, but I heard all these birds whistling, the flowers were smelling amazing. However, I met up with my friends and there was a bit of miscommunication. She thought I would meet up at her place, which is still like half an hour away from the park, and I thought we would meet up at the park. So I was at the park and she was not there, so I called her and she, well, there was just a bit of miscommunication, so it took her about half an hour, or I think it might even be a bit longer. So up to an hour I had to wait. But there was no problem because I took my knitting with me, and it was actually my sweater, which I didn't finish at the time. And I took it with me in the car just in case. And I got out of the car, I took my knitting, and I walked around the park. And then I got onto this bench and just knit and enjoyed nature and all these people walking by, and they smile when they see me knitting and thought it was so cozy and nice. And some people even joined me on the bench and asked me questions, and in a way I wanted them to leave me alone. So they understood that I was just enjoying my silent, quiet moments and let me be. But they were curious to see how and what I was making. And it was so nice. So just always take your knitting with you. Even if it's just a small project, I think it's so nice to knit in the car, even though I can only knit in the car when we are on the highway. Because otherwise, with the curvy roads, like a bumpy roads, I will get car sick. But for highways and also in the dark, I tend to make mistakes and my eyes get sore because I can't really knit that well without looking at my knitting. So knitting in a theater or cinema wouldn't work for me. And also, sometimes it's fine to do just nothing. But yeah, it was very lovely to visit the park, and we also, not with my friend, but with my boyfriend or fiance, we went to the beach after work, and it was lovely because I made some quiche and a salad, and we took it with us and we had dinner on the beach. It wasn't very warm, so we had to put on a coat and a warm sweater, but we had some wine, and there was just the waves, and we took our dog with us. We have a Jack Russell Dachshund combination thing, and he loved it. And there were all these birds, they were going crazy because there was some fish, I think, in the sea, and they were diving to catch all the fish. And it's just so lovely to spend some time in nature, especially when summer is almost upon us. Even though it's pretty cold and often rainy, I have the urge to get out and soak it all in before it gets winter and the days will be shorter and darker. So yeah, I hope you can enjoy some weather outside as well and take your knitting with you. That is probably all I have to tell you so far. And yeah, I wish you all a very good week and a happy knitting. I'm not sure when I will return to you because things will be a bit crazy here. So you might have to miss me a bit. But do post all the pictures of the speckled socks knit along. I might pop in to announce the winners. Just a short video because otherwise you would have to wait a fair amount of time and that's not very nice. So until the 21st of June you have time to finish up those speckled socks, put them in the finished object thread. If you like this video, please thumbs up and subscribe if you wanna be wanna have a heads up when my videos are online. You can find me on Instagram as creainthecity, and I'm most active on Instagram, but you can also find me on the Ravelry group, which you can find by Knitting in the City. So for my Instagram it's Crea in the City, and the Ravelry group it's Knitting in the City. But I'll put all the links in the down bar, and you can also find the show notes in the Ravelry group. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for watching again, and see you soon. Bye!